administration would recommend that the Board of Education approve the resolution authorizing the issuance of tax anticipation warrants, and that the Board of Education read and brought into the record each of the 4 documents that were provided as an attachment, and you also have those in hard copy in documents in front.
All right. I have a question.
Yes.
It says here, whereas there is no money in the treasury of combined school district 113A, Cook and DuPage counties, Illinois, the district, to defray the necessary expenses of the district.
Okay.
I believe the district is also saying we have $5.4 million in our working cash fund.
No?
And here we are at the meeting today saying we have 0 funds.
I don't remember anybody saying that we had $5.4 million. Did it say that?
I haven't seen that.
Well, how much money do we have in our funds?
In the bank account?
With the state aid payment, as of yesterday, about $260,000.
$260,000.
Correct.
That's all inclusive.
So in our total fund balance, we have $260,000.
Correct.
Which is why we're issuing tax anticipation warrants now rather than in February when we assumed there would be more of a chance that this problem would arise.
If these warrants are issued, how fast will we get the money?
We should have the money by Thursday.
Certificates will be being drawn up over the weekend, Monday. Those will be available for signature by the treasurer, the board president, and secretary. Those will then go to Harris and to through bond counsel at Chapman Cutler, making sure everything is right on Tuesday, and either they'll issue a close on Wednesday or Thursday.
Pardon me?
My understanding is right now be Thursday.
It says here on the budget that we have $5.4 million in our working cash fund.
Is that fund balance or cash?
It says beginning cash balance.
And then how about the negative cash balances and all the other funds? You have to total all the cashes together to get the, I think when we ended the year, we had $3.2 million in cash. So if you add up all the negatives and positives together in that line, that'll tell you the cash in the bank plus investments. And that's the total cash for the district. And then since, that was as of June 30th, and since June 30th, we had spent money and of course received some money. But unfortunately the tax bills didn't go out on time.
But Cook County has been very upfront with our tax bills. We knew that these bills were going to be late. And for us to plan otherwise is poor business planning on our part and of the administration. And here we are on a Saturday afternoon at 2:30 when the Lamont Halloween Hoedown is going on downtown, big event for our town for us to be with our families. And here we are talking about tax anticipation warrants. Why can't this wait 3 business days later and be discussed at a regular Wednesday meeting?
Because if we waited till Wednesday to issue the resolution, we would not have the money in time to make financial commitments again this week.
Can you repeat that? I couldn't hear you.
If we didn't do it today, we wouldn't get the money in time. We need the money by Thursday. Let's,
So we approved a budget on September 30th
yes we did.
showing 0 interest expense,
Right,
knowing we had very little cash.
right.
The budget submitted to the state overstayed the cash by $6 million. The district tried to submit another budget with negative fund balances,
All right, you know what, I'm
and
gonna
that was
stop.
rejected by
I'm
the
gonna
Illinois State Board of
stop you right there.
Education,
There was-
obviously, because you can't
There was
have
only one,
negative fund balances.
Mrs. Hughes, now, there was only one budget submitted to the state by District 113A. Okay? If you have information otherwise, you should share it with the board so that we can investigate that. But there was one budget submitted to the state,
And it didn't overstate
and
cash.
it did not overstate the cash.
It's just
It was
wrong.
accurate.
Well, the budget on the State Board of Education website was different
Yes,
from
it
the
was.
budget that is
Yes, it was.
on
You're right.
ours.
You're right, it was. It wasn't ours.
And we need to find out why that happened and who's responsible. As a
Exactly.
board, we need to do that.
Well, that's what we're trying to do. We're working on that right now with the State Board of Education. It's actually in their hands because the budget that was submitted to them is the budget that we approved. So anything that got posted, we're actually not responsible for because we didn't post it. Let's get the motion on the table.
Well, Mr. President, I would like to say that the board needs to demand accountability from the administration. I believe our community deserves to have numbers that are accurate and that truly reflect the money that we do have.
Thank you. Dr. Ricker, do we read these
In order.
documents before
Yes.
the motion goes on the table?
Yes, read them in order.
So the first item, the minutes of October 24th, 2009. We can divvy this up. I'll read the first. Minutes of the special public meeting of the Board of Education of the Combined School District, number 113A, Cook and DuPage Counties, Illinois. Excuse me, held at the Old Quarry Middle School, Learning Resource Center, 16100 127th Street, Lamont, Illinois, in said school district, 2:30 p.m. on the 24th day of October 2009. Do I need to read each of these items
Yes, sir.
right now?
Yes.
The meeting was called to order by the president, and upon the roll being called, John Wood, the president, and the following members were physically present at said location. All members of the board are present.
Those names will be inserted via the roll call that was done.
Correct. Following members were allowed by a majority of the members of the Board of Education in accordance with and to the extent allowed by rules adopted by the Board of Education to attend the meeting video or audio conference. There were no members who made such requests. So no member was permitted to attend the meeting by video or audio conference. There were, the following members were absent, did not participate in the meeting in any manner or to any extent whatsoever. There were no members absent. The President announced that in view of the financial condition of the district, the next item for discussion will be proposed issuance of the district's taxable tax anticipation warrant. The Board of Education will consider the adoption of a resolution reporting, authorizing the issuance and the sale of said warrants. On member blank presented and the secretary read by title the resolution as follows. A copy of which was provided to prior to said meeting and to everyone in attendance at said meeting.
Could you speak up, please?
Mrs. O'Malley will read the actual resolution.
Resolution authorizing the issuance of taxable tax anticipation warrants in anticipation of the collection of taxes levied for the year 2008 by the Board of Education of Combined School District Number 113A, Cook and DuPage Counties, Illinois, for educational and debt service purposes. Whereas there is no money in the Treasury of Combined District Number 113A, Cook and DuPage Counties, Illinois, the district, to defray the necessary expenses of the district. And Whereas the Board of Education, the Board of the District deems it advisable, necessary, and for the best interests of the district that funds be provided to meet the necessary expenses of the district, and for that purpose warrants be issued and drawn against and in anticipation of the collection of taxes heretofore levied for educational and debt service purposes by the district for the year 2008, and whereas Section 17-16 of the School Code of the State of Illinois, and as amended, authorizes the board to issue such warrants up to the extent of 85% of the sum total of the taxes so levied, less actual collections thereof. Now therefore, be it, and it is hereby resolved by the Board of Education of the Combined School District Number 113A, Cook and DuPage Counties, Illinois, as follows. Section 1, incorporation of preambles. The board hereby finds that all of the recitals contained in the preambles to this resolution are full, true, and correct, and does incorporate them into this resolution by this reference. Section 2, definitions. For the purposes of this resolution, except as otherwise expressly provided, or unless the context otherwise requires, the terms defined in this section shall have the meanings as set forth below and shall include the plural as well as the singular. Act shall mean the School Code of the State of Illinois as amended and the Local Government Debt Reform Act of the State of Illinois as amended. Board shall mean the Board of Education of the district. Designated representatives shall mean the president of the board and the superintendent and the business manager of the district. District shall mean Combined School District Number 113A, Cook and DuPage Counties, Illinois. Purchaser shall be Harris, N.A., Chicago, Illinois.
All right, I'll take over. Resolution shall mean this resolution is adopted by the board. Taxable means the status of interest under warrants is not excludable from gross income, the owners thereof, for federal income tax purposes. Treasurer shall mean the school treasurer who receives the taxes of the district. Warrant notification is defined in Section 7 of this resolution. Warrant register shall mean the books of the district kept by the warrant registrar to evidence the registration and transfer of the warrants. Warrant registrar shall mean Harris, N.A., Chicago, Illinois, or a duly designated successor thereto. Warrants shall mean the tax anticipation warrants of the district authorized to be issued under this resolution. Section 3, authorization. Tax anticipation warrants of the district are hereby authorized to be issued, sold, and delivered in one or more series pursuant to the provisions of the Act to defray the necessary expenses of the district incurred for educational and debt service purposes and drawn against and in anticipation of the collection of the taxes heretofore levied for year 2008 for such purposes. The warrant shall be issued in the amount set forth in the warrant notification, not to exceed the total aggregate amount of $6 million and not to exceed $4,702,000 for educational purposes and not to exceed $1,314,000 for debt service purposes. Shall each be designated 2008 particular fund purposes taxable tax anticipation warrant. Shall be dated the date of the delivery, not later than December 1, 2009, and shall also bear the date of authentication and shall become due on the date set forth in the warrant notification, not later than December 30th, 2009. The warrant shall be in fully registered form and shall be of the denomination of $1,000 each, or authorized integral multiples thereof. The warrants shall bear numbers assigned for I, order of issuance, and I, warrant registration. Each warrant for each purpose upon initial issuance shall be assigned an order of issuance number from OI1 and upwards, with each $1,000 portion of a warrant bearing an assigned order of issuance number. In addition, each warrant upon initial issuance or upon transfer or exchange shall bear a registration number for each such warrant authenticated. The warrants shall bear interest at the rate per annum set forth in the warrant notification, not exceeding 6% annum. Shall be issued from time to time as set forth in the warrant notification and shall be subject to redemption prior to maturity, if at all, as set forth in the warrant notification. Section 4, interest payment provisions. Each warrant shall bear interest payable only out of the taxes against which such warrant is drawn, at the rate aforesaid computed upon the basis of a 360-day year, 12 30-day months. From the date thereof until paid, such interest being payable on the date of maturity of the warrants. The principal of and interest on the warrants shall be payable upon presentation in lawful money of the United States of America at the principal corporate trust office of the warrant registrar in Chicago, Illinois. The warrants shall be payable solely from tax against which they are issued, which are hereby assigned and pledged to the payment of such warrants. Such tax, when collected, shall be set apart and held for the payment of such warrants. The warrants shall be received by any collector of taxes against which they are issued. The warrants shall show upon the face thereof the particular fund for which they are issued, and they are payable in the numerical order of their issuance, and that any warrant shall be received by any collector taxes in payment of the tax against which it is issued, and the particular fund for which it is issued.
I'll take it from here. Section 5, execution. The warrants shall be executed on behalf of the district by the president and the secretary of the board, and shall be registered, numbered, and countersigned by the treasurer. In case any officer whose signature shall appear on any warrant shall cease to be such officer before the